welcome everyone to this special direct booking Q&A. Thank you so much everyone for joining us. So today's session is going to start off with some updates from Andrew, maybe a few updates from Pierre as well. Andrew's our Director of Product, Pierre our CEO. Just a heads up that we are recording this session if you haven't already seen that. And as I mentioned at the start, we are live streaming to Facebook. So if you get disconnected at any point, you can go over to our Facebook page and just kind of watch the recording there. We'll also upload to YouTube later today in case there's anything you missed and you want to go back and watch it. We will do updates from Andrew and Pierre, as I mentioned, and then we'll move on to a Q&A from the audience. So feel free to use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen to start submitting your questions as Andrew and Pierre are presenting. You'll also have the opportunity to come on stage towards the end as well, if you'd like, to ask your question directly. At the bottom, there's a little reaction button that you can use to essentially raise your hand. So click on reactions and raise hand if you'd like to be put in the queue to come on stage to ask your question live. So without further ado, Andrew's just taking a sip of water, so I think he's ready, and I'm going to hand over to him to present all things direct.
Thank you, Miles. Yeah, and this will be pretty similar to a town hall. I think our town halls ever since we launched Direct had a lot of direct focus, but unlike our normal town halls, we're going to spend a little time just going through the basics of Direct again. I'm sure we have some people on this town hall, this Q&A that have not used Direct yet. So I'm not going to belabor the basics too much, but we do want to give you just a high-level review. It should be helpful for some of you. Yeah, let's get started. So Direct, it is now live for all Hospitable users. Some of you, depending on where your properties are located, you have a choice between basic and premium. Let's start with premium first. Premium, this is a pretty unique offering in the marketplace. What makes it different is that Hospitable is the merchant of record. So this is a hybrid approach, right? So they're saying, there are some nice things that OTAs provide when they do a booking. They are the merchant of record, meaning they carry some liability, they carry some risk. That's good. Often, you don't need to be the one that is liable for, things going wrong, for fraud, things like that, chargebacks. We can help you with that. Just like an OTA. Similar to an OTA, we can also help you with damage protection if things go wrong. We can help you with vetting your guests. So those are the kind of things that we decided to include with premium. It's a hybrid. You don't have to worry about kind of getting a tech stack set up of, who am I going to use as a vendor for my guest vetting? Who am I going to use for my insurance? We take care of that for you. It's meant to be as streamlined as possible, and it's getting there. We're improving every day. We're doing things like tax calculation for you. We're not doing tax remittance yet, but that's coming soon. So yeah, it's getting better and better. And we're already seeing some pretty good success. So this is our more popular offering so far. It's only available currently with properties in the United States. And as of really today, Australia, that configuration just got set up. So if we have any Aussies, it's probably not a good time for you to be on the live webinar. But if you're listening to a recording, you can now get set up on premium as well. Next slide, Miles. So how we're doing on the business side, just Direct Premium alone. And again, we only really finished rolling out to our hosts, 100% of our hosts about 3 weeks ago. And we've done a little over $200,000 in Direct Premium bookings since April, since we started the rollout. And just the first 7 days of this month, next slide, Miles, we've already done $54,000 in payouts. So that's about our weekly volume now. Last week we did just over $50,000 in bookings. So things are really picking up steam. We're seeing like an average booking size just over $2,000. And there's good savings there. So that's an exciting number for us. Direct Basic, next product is it's payment processing plus a website, right? It's you're going to see this offered by some of our competitors as well. We offer it for people that maybe are already set up with direct booking and they don't want to have everything changed. They don't want us to do the guest vetting because they're already doing that, etc. It's also more cost efficient. You're taking on the liability, so that comes with a cost for you. You're paying your own payment processing fees. But when it comes down to it, it's more cost efficient than premium, and we'll show you how it compares coming forward. But how it differs, so instead of premium, where you just connect your bank account, you connect a Stripe account for basic. If you don't have one, you can sign up in the process, get that connected. You can connect multiple Stripe accounts to basic, multiple bank accounts to premium. We're going to be able to offer split pay in the near future with premium because of the vendor we use for payment processing there. That's possible. That's probably not going to come to basic, but you are able to add multiple Stripe accounts. You are the merchant of record. So we mentioned that with premium. So that means, you have to carry a balance to fund cancellations, to fund refunds. You have to manage your chargebacks. Not the super happy part about basic, but you do have full control. You need to calculate your taxes as well. And we won't be able to remit taxes for you as we start to roll that out to premium. And yeah, we're not making any choices for you. You can do guest vetting, you can do damage protection, but you have to set that up on your own and you control your payouts. Okay, so how does that look? Maybe a little bit easier to look at a table. You're going to save on the transaction in the sense on basic, we don't charge any fee for the transaction. We have to do that for premium. And we do that only to the guest. So we charge a guest service fee. About half of that 6% is going to cover your payment processing fees. So that's not deducted from your payout. Your payout is what you set it as for both basic and premium. Nothing is deducted from that. We'll just add a line item for guest service fee. Guest pays that 6% plus $10. The $10 is basically cost plus nothing for the AutoHost guest vetting we're doing and the SuperHog $5 million damage protection. We're keeping it as efficient as possible. And what you get for that, you're going to have the same experience for the site, same experience for the booking widget. If you already have a direct site, you can drop that booking widget on the site. You don't have to use our sites, but we do provide them. We are going to collect the tax you tell us to in basic. We're going to calculate the tax accurately for you in premium. It's going to get updated as local regulations change. We're going to calculate it exactly for your address. So if you do have a lot of properties, that does become quite a burden just to calculate. And again, with premium, we're going to start remitting those taxes eventually where we can in markets where we're legally able to. We'll start doing that soon, and that'll become even a richer service for you. Payment processing fees, you're going to have to pay Stripe on the basic side for those. So we often see direct basic hosts add like a 3% markup to cover those payment processing fees, so that the guest will end up paying for those. But in premium, that's already accounted for. And then that AutoHost guest vetting and that SuperHog damage protection, those are part of the premium offering. They're integrated in the flow. Every direct premium booking is going to go through AutoHost. You're going to be able to see any risks that were spotted. We're not going to pass through anything that's tagged for fraud. We're trying to protect you and us for premium because we're the merchant of record, and every reservation is going to get that damage protection. Okay. So next slide, please. Yeah, pricing. The pricing is basically how we cover the site, the distribution we're doing for you, different features going forward. Basic, you're going to end up paying a little bit more because we're not taking anything from the transaction. So you're looking at $8 for your first up to 9 properties. So per property per month, starting at $8, going down to $5. For premium, we're starting a little bit cheaper because you do have that 6% plus $10 guest service fee that's included. So starting at $5, going down to $2. Okay. Hopefully you were paying attention. That was your basic versus premium explainer. Sorry if I went a little bit too fast. There's lots of documentation, obviously, in Hospitable that you can refer back to. And we have plenty of time for QA today for anything that didn't make sense. We can review. Okay. Recent updates. So we did actually just push a couple things that you probably haven't heard of yet, even today. Cancellation policies, they've been out for a little while. We did talk about this in, I think, the recent town halls. We're doing kind of just little tweaks and improvements to them lately, but it's a completely extensible setup right now. You can create multiple policies. Policies are applied to properties, so your properties can have different policies. You have 2 different events that you can time your policies from. So you can set after booking, you can include a 24 or 48-hour window to give 100% refund. We do fund that. So from the premium side, where the payment processing fees are included, we're also including payment processing fees when we refund a reservation, and that's also us eating costs. So that all goes into that 6% plus $10 is when you reject a request to book, we are the ones that cover that cost. When we make if you have a 100% refundable rule, the guest is getting back exactly what they paid. So we're not taking anything from those. We're actually losing money on those. That's just part of the marketplace. The other event is before check-in. So very typical. Obviously, you can have your 30-day, 7-day, whatever you want to set. You can set multiple rules. We'll only show the most relevant rules. And if they're already expired for the guests, we won't show those in the booking flow. So that should all be a nice implementation with cancellation policies. The other thing that we are announcing just today, I think, is the update to what properties look like on sites. So this screen has been updated, a little bit streamlined. So you're seeing your internal name and your public name of your property, as well as the URL. This is based on feedback from some of our early users, especially with those with a lot of properties. They have a hard time keeping track. A lot of the public names are similar. So we're gonna this page kind of becomes a bit of a sales manager for you. If you have people asking about properties and you want to share a URL for a specific property to them, this page becomes a little bit easier to navigate. We also allow you with this update to change the slug. So the slug of the URL is that last part that makes it unique to the property. You are able to edit those now. Do note though, if you do edit the property slug, any existing links that you already shared will no longer work. So you have to be careful when you're getting set up. It's best that you have a nice deliberate process, come up with good property slug names, and don't change them, because you will do some damage to your SEO if you're changing those, and it just becomes a bit chaotic for anyone you've shared that link to, because it will break. And the last thing we just pushed this afternoon, Instant Book. So this is only available for Direct Premium because we need that auto host guest vetting to make this possible. It's not enabled by default. So we just turned on visibility for this feature for all Direct Premium users. You can now enable this feature. You can opt in, and then you set a risk tolerance that's based on the results of the auto host guest portal. So green being the lowest risk, red being the most risk. We don't accept red ratings. So you can set green, yellow, or orange. Anything, any reservation that meets your threshold or above will be automatically accepted. If it is flagged for anything that the auto host suggests a manual review, it'll just come through as a request to book, like everything has to this date. But that is now live, and you're welcome to start turning on instant booking. Going forward, a few features that we've been talking about are coming. Google Vacation Rentals. We're making progress with this every day. It is a big project. Google is very, I think, strict about the audits that are happening. So we've been making a lot of updates to how our property feed works, how our pricing integration works. They do audit that over a time period. So we're still a few weeks away, but there is progress coming. That's going to be a massive update. Both Direct Premium and Basic will be able to use Google Vacation Rentals. We have big hopes for what that can do for distribution, for the amount of bookings you're taking direct and saving all that money on. So that's an exciting one. Also, new update as of today. We just started the onboarding for our new support team. Hopefully they're in the audience right now, but we have two new members, Eileen and Dawn, who are going to be there just for direct. So we know there are some opportunities for direct that require basically live chat. So we want to be able to assist your guest in the booking flow when they're having trouble with payments, when they're having trouble with guest vetting. We want to be providing that support for them. So this is the start of that team, and they're going to be there to support your guests. They're going to be there to help onboard hosts. So when you have questions about getting set up, I know there's been some friction, I think, on the know your customer requirements when you're getting a premium payment option set up. They're going to be there for that, to help you through just onboarding the direct tools, as well as assisting your guest. If you do have to make a damage claim, that support team can be there to help you liaise with Superhog and get paid out for damages. So that's an exciting one. Promo codes, the most requested feature I think we've had since we launched Direct. That is going to development, I think probably Monday at the latest. So we're putting in the last touches on the design of that. If you have feedback, anything specific that you really need in promo codes, we'd love to hear about it in Q&A. This is one of your last chances to get our ear and influence how promo codes will look. Tax remittance we mentioned, that's a Direct Premium only feature. We'll be starting to remit in the coming months as we get that set up. That's an ongoing process. We'll continue to expand in scope as we go, but it's just a lot of registrations in the US. for the complicated tax jurisdictions there. And then overall growth premium right now, US and Australia only. Next up in Canada and the UK. No timeline on that yet. It does require us to set up corporate entities and set up pretty complicated, we found, configurations with our payment processor. So we'll be looking at Canada probably maybe July, August, but hard to say when that will actually come online. Okay, that's my spiel. I don't think Pierre has any update other than the fact that he's still a bit jet lagged from the company offsite in Jamaica last week.
I'm fine now. Thank you so much. No, I think Andrew, you're the beast on everything related with Direct. So I'm here to look forward to your questions to guide our future roadmap, and hear the feedback that our customers have, of course, for Direct, both premium and basic, and different flavors and offering. Let's get started.
I saw a lot of questions coming through while I was talking.
Yeah, I think we're already in the record. We see like 250 plus participants. So of course, this is a fantastic opportunity to receive a lot of feedback from our customers. And there's going to be plenty, obviously, listening to the recording as well. So
hey, we're recording. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So let's start off with a couple of people with their hands raised before we get to some Q&A that's written down. So we're going to start with Joshua, who has the first hand raised. Here we are. Joshua.
Hey, hi, everyone. Thanks for this session. A question on the direct link. So the Premium Direct, I use Premium Direct, but I only have one property for now, and the premium, as I set it up, makes the user go to like a page that theoretically would have all of my properties on it, and I'd like it to go just directly to the page of the property. Is there a way that that can be done, or a feature that could be created so that the user goes directly to the property rather than to the sort of a summary page of all properties?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it depends on how they're finding you. And then in some ways, that's something that we can do, right? So we can definitely improve what our site template looks like for a single property. That is something that got flagged a long time ago, and I haven't had it raised again. So thank you for bringing that back up. But yeah, it depends on where your distribution comes from. If it's social sharing, et cetera, obviously you control which link they click on. So you do have some control there, but that's a pretty good suggestion that we do still need to come back to what does a single site look like. It doesn't need a list view when there's only one property in the list. So yeah.
Exactly. And just, the reason for that is that the URL I have is like name of city vacation rental. And so it's obviously a lot more powerful to go directly from that URL to rather than sub URL
I get it. Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Josh.
Great. Thank you very much, Joshua. So now next caller, we have David. David, would you like to come on stage and ask your question?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, David.
Can you hear me?
Hey,
Yep.
David,
Yeah.
yes, we can.
Hi. Yeah, so just a quick question. How soon do you think until we can get so I have like customers who are interested in booking for like a month at a special rate. How can I adjust the rate for that to work? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
let's
the
say
rates
you want it for like $3,000 for the month. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, the rate's not precisely the problem. I mean, you do have monthly discounts, right? So you have a weekly and monthly discount you can set in your property details section, and that would cover that. There are some other considerations that we have not implemented yet as far as payment installments. When we have people making 3-month requests, it's not nice to, charge 3 months of rent on a credit card up front. That's not super fair to the guest. You're not going to get a lot of conversions, obviously, with that. So those have been shouted. There are different tax considerations, obviously, once it goes over 30 days. We have a project on the roadmap to make all of those optimizations. I probably should have had that on the future updates because it's not that far down the list. It's something we've got to do, and we actually are seeing lots of 30-day bookings. I think the biggest booking we've seen ended up being 2 different bookings that were combined, probably close to $40,000 US. So the demand is there for it, and we do have some work to do. But yeah, if you're just looking at how do I fix the price and give a discount, you have that option with the percentage discount for a 30-day booking. The other thing that's going to help you, the other feature that we've got coming, is a quote feature. So if you want to generate a custom quote, say someone's looking at your property, they get in touch with you because they want to kind of negotiate a bit, you could then basically create, it's almost like creating a manual booking. So you could block the time, and then you're going to be able to set a price for that booking all in, and then send a payment link to the user. So that would be kind of like you're taking bookings over the phone or by email.
Yeah.
This is a quote feature that's going to let you do exactly what you want to do, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. Perfect.
Cool. Yeah, that's been highlighted in town halls before. It's great feedback. Thank you.
And just one last thing. For some reason, whenever so I did like a test run, I did a booking through the link, but when I go back to when I look at that booking on my calendar, you know, the amount is it's always off on the side. Why is that? Like, do you guys plan on fixing that?
Yeah, there's a few different amounts that we look at, and what you're seeing is the it should be the payout figure, which does not include tax, and so it's basically your nightly rate. You can get a bit more data if you look at the details in the inbox. You can get that. You can also see the full price. I know we have it in a short code, so some users will basically they'll recap the total booking and in their booking confirmation messaging rule. And so you'd be able to see it there. It's not ideal, but yeah, that is something that we're looking at as far as it's not exactly indirect. It's in our core metrics update. We're looking at basically harmonizing those values you see, and so it'll be more predictable and easier to see what the total booking was, what your payout is. You'll be able to see in direct as well, right? So when you do have a payout, you can go into your payout history, and that will include future payouts as well. They'll just be scheduled, and you'll be able to see that will include all your rates and fees plus your taxes that are passed through. That's what you'll see in the payments, the payout history.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, David. So I'm just going to try and pull a couple from the Q&A as well. We've got loads of questions coming from everywhere, so trying to efficiently tick them off.
Speed up the answers. All right.
Yeah, no, not you. So just looking at a couple of questions that have been asked repeatedly. So there's been a couple of people asking, namely one of them being Randy, asking about add-ons. So things like, a hot tub heating fee and that kind of thing, and the addition of those coming soon.
Yep. So we refer to this internally as ad hoc fees. We also include ad hoc refunds, kind of a similar project. But obviously, yeah, we've got the payment processor set up. It makes sense to allow you to add any fees you want throughout the booking. They don't need to come through the single booking event that starts off. So that's something that's on the roadmap. It's probably also a nice tool for you converting users from other OTAs. You could potentially be using your direct payout method to be any additional fees that you negotiate with a user that may have booked through an OTA. You could do through direct as well. That is also something we're looking at. Yeah, hard to have an ETA on that. But yeah, we're definitely excited about having ad hoc fees and refunds come to the product.
Cool, thank you.
On the question of fees, there are also a lot of questions regarding to pet fees. So
yes.
Ad hoc pets. Yeah, I know, Andrew.
I keep trying. I keep trying to prioritize this. Yeah, it's something. I think pet fees is something our company has struggled with for some reason. We need to make some updates for pet fees in several places of the product, not just direct. But yeah, I know this is painful because you get the booking come in, it's already paid for, the payment is captured when you accept it, and then you have to go back to the guest and tell them, oh yeah, you've got to also add some money when I find out, or if I don't find out that you have a pet. That's not great. We do recognize that, and I will continue to try and prioritize that. It's coming, and it's not far.
Thank you, Andrew.
So just one more question from the written Q&As before we move on to some more raised hands. question around using an existing domain and the recommendation there. So do I have to use a booking widget if I already have my custom domain, or can I use my custom domain with a Hospitable website?
You can do all the things. So you can use our sites with a custom domain. We provide you with a domain. You can get a custom subdomain that's on hospitable.rentals. If you already have your own .com or other custom domain, you can also then transfer to that custom domain using a Hospitable site. You just have to figure out the DNS. We give you very clear instructions to do that. So you should be able to manage. Otherwise, our support team will help you with that. You can also have a custom site that you use your booking widgets with, right? So if you already have an existing site builder, a third-party site, etc., all you're going to do is we're going to give you a unique URL for each property that is the booking widget, that is an iframe, and you would add that to your custom site. But you can do all those things with a custom domain. They all work.
Perfect. Thank you. So now back to our raised hands. So I'm going to invite Peter on stage. Peter, would you like to ask your question?
Sure. Good day, Hospitable team.
Hi, Peter.
Hey there.
So I just want to echo the previous caller, or both of them, but the direct link I have 20 properties, and it's imperative to be able to just kind of streamline when you're going back and forth with people. You don't want them looking through the entire portfolio. You just want to send them what you have available, especially, during the high season, it's pretty tight. So if we can get that, such that we just send them a unique link to each property. And I'm a little confused on how that actually works. I see the widget tool. Do I go there, copy that, and then that is for each individual property?
Yeah, so the update that we announced just previously in this talk, that's going to help you out a lot, because it was previously quite hard to find the URL for a property without opening up your site and you navigating yourself and then copying the URL and sharing it with your user. We're going to now do that. So if you go into your direct site and you find that property list, what we've done is we've included the URL now, and we have that copy icon next to there. So in this scenario, when you're talking with the user and you want to share a couple properties that you want to recommend, now all you have to do is click on that icon and paste into your email or your chat that you're having. So that helps you out a lot.
Awesome.
I think the other thing you can look at doing that we did with a user with like 100+ properties on direct was we set up city-based listings. They have like 3 or 4 cities. And so they actually replicated their site. And they did, like a Sacramento dot whatever, they did a Houston dot whatever, they did Philadelphia dot, and that allows you to share a city-based listing. It also helps you with SEO a little bit when people search Philadelphia short-term rental. That's one option you have to make it a little bit easier to share collections, right? You could do a few different sites for your different cities. That's not going to help you with availability, but I think what I just mentioned will, when you can just share the individual links to the property pages.
Awesome. And then the other thing is, you touched on at the end of the last caller's, your response to his question is, we definitely need that ability for quotes.
Yep.
Because right now, if I want to get we have steady customers that we have already negotiated with,
Okay.
and we just can't really, outside of just doing the manual booking outside of direct, which brings in other platforms like Sign Now. You got to do a guest agreement and then block off the calendar. And
we don't want you to have to do that, Peter.
Right, and then PayPal and all of that. If we
we don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm doing with my spaghetti customers, because I can't just send them a quote and have them, and I know that you have the ability to book. I did it once, I think yesterday. I finally took a credit card and booked for somebody, but I prefer not to do that. I'd rather just.
No, we don't want you to do that either. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. You make a very good case for prioritizing the quote feature. Thank you for that context. So that's super helpful. Just hearing from our customers like that, and like this is the real world situation that you're dealing with. That makes it a lot easier for us to design solutions for. So I appreciate you sharing that.
I appreciate you all's hard work, and we're getting so much closer, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you, Peter.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Peter. And just a reminder, folks, if you are typing out questions to us, please try and use the Q&A functionality on the bottom. It's just easier for us to kind of see all the different questions instead of using the chat. It's just easier for our team to kind of separate all the questions out and make sure we're able to reply to anybody and pull them on stage if need be. So next person with their hand raised, Andrew, I hope you are ready for a bunch more people asking you questions because we've got plenty. So Kyle, you are up next. Hello, Kyle.
Yes, hello.
Hi,
Hey
Kyle.
there.
Hey, so I had actually asked my question in the Q&A section, and I did get a response. I just kind of wanted to follow up. So, obviously appreciate everything that's going on with all these developments. Love to see the progress. Love seeing, a discounted ability of direct bookings. My question is there going to be any, direct efforts of Hospitable to increase the traffic to these potential direct booking sites? The response I got in the Q&A was more along the lines of, utilizing the MailChimp integration, attempting to get the rebookings, repeated bookings, but you can kind of appreciate the repetitiveness or the redundancy rather, where, in order to get repeat bookings, we're having to utilize, other booking sites to get those.
Yep.
So in short, is there any, forecasted increase or ramp up in advertisement campaigns or anything like that to point traffic to these new direct booking capabilities?
Well, the advertising would be on your side. Google Vacation Rentals, it could be a fire hose for you. It depends on where your properties are located. But that's the first big distribution bet for us is the Google Vacation Rentals integration. I think we're about 4 weeks away from that. You'll be able to opt in your properties there. They're going to be commingled with Google Hotels searches, depending on what market you're in and depending on where Google's at with that rollout. That's a fire hose of traffic from Google Hotels. There's also talk about them bringing short-term rentals on Google Maps. So there's lots of opportunities there. We have some pretty easy wins that we're looking at doing very soon, which is improving the SEO value of your site. So helping you edit and optimize the SEO content that gets published along with your site. There's wins there. But if you're talking about advertising campaigns, that's basically the direct thing is you are in charge of your properties, right? We're going to give you the tools you need to take a booking. But we're saving you the money by not doing a big budget advertising campaign, right? So you can think about things, but really it's kind of a stepwise growth of your business, which is unfortunately built on the hard work of having a CRM of your existing customers, doing the work of building a brand so people know to search you and can find you, converting customers that want to extend their OTA reservation and taking that off platform and having a good experience there. There's no holy grail to bring a whole bunch of customers to your specific direct site.
Nope, I appreciate that feedback. And I think the only other thing I would extremely echo the prior user with the quoting capabilities. That's definitely something
Cool.
I'm battling as well.
I'm slamming down on the up arrow on the prioritization for that right now. It's off camera, but it's happening.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle.
I think that basically, just to take a bit of a step back and thank you for the questions that you have, it's actually the difference between a full-blown OTA and a direct product where you're kept on your own, being the merchant of record and taking all the liabilities. We want to take a part of the liability, especially on the direct premium. We're helping you having a great hosting experience and a great guest experience. However, the assumption on our side has always been that to step into advertising and marketing of your properties, that gets us really at the same level of cost and the same level of a challenge, technically and operationally speaking, as an Airbnb. And obviously, we're presenting a version here that's really is friendly to host, friendly to guest in terms of being competitive related to cost. Having a marketing is really, we believe you are the best person as a host or as managers to find where your travelers, where your guests are likely to be found, what are going to be the best personas that you are going to be chasing. And we are going to be standing ready, obviously, to make sure that we can help promote your websites and your direct bookings by any way technically possible. Google Vacation Rentals at the top of it. And many other ways to technically improve the performance of your websites. But yeah, I think ultimately you are the one that know whose guests you are happy, which guests you are happy to host, at which price range, what are the amenities that are aid for them, and we want to support you in making that easier on your side. But yeah, that's the difference between an OTA charging 20% and on year so, and us basically that charge an extra 3% or so over the payment processing fees. Okay, next.
Thank you. So next we have Andrew for Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew.
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of an echo, but why don't you get your question out and then we'll take over.
Yeah, so two things. I did put a Q&A on the first one. I just launched my direct site in the last 48 hours. And I have a custom domain pointing to the Hospitable site. And I had some email addresses of past guests. I did the MailChimp integration with Hospitable. I followed the directions. Everything worked great. However, I sent the email out and then realized that when people clicked on the link in the email, I'm getting a not secure, not private message, which I did a bunch of research. It sounds like it's probably an SSL certificate. I purchased my domain through Squarespace, and they claim that they definitely have SSL certificates because it's pointing to Hospitable. I need to have a SSL certificate from Hospitable. It's been over 24 hours, which I know it says in the Hospitable stuff about you should have an SSL certificate, but I'm still getting that message, and I'm reluctant to send out any more emails or promote the site if people are going to get that message.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry you had that experience. I don't think that's on our side. You should not need an SSL certificate if that domain is not what's getting accessed. They're accessing the custom domain. The domain is what needs to be to have the certificate. So why don't you reach out to us?
I did put a support ticket in yesterday. I haven't heard back yet, but Squarespace made it very clear that all their domain names have that. But if I'm pointing to a site that's not hosted on Squarespace, the SSL certificate needs to be basically generate. I mean, I don't understand the language, but by the site you're pointing to. So, yeah, so I definitely trying to get over this hurdle.
Hi, Andrew. Jen on the support team here. Yeah, shoot.
Oh, Jen, how are you? Good to talk to you again.
Hi. I'll look out for your email in our queue and work with you. Basically, if you haven't already, if you could just send a screenshot of your DNS records for that site, we can take a look and see if there's something we can see that's not set up correctly. It might be something really subtle.
Okay, so you want me to go to Squarespace and screenshot the DNS records at Squarespace and send them to you?
Yeah,
correct?
Wherever you bought the custom domain, if that's Squarespace, wherever. Yep, just send a screenshot of those DNS records and we could take a look with you.
Okay, cool. And one other thing real quick about the payout figures, in the last 48 hours or so, and I'm wondering if it's because I launched direct booking, but I used to see in a reservation, I click on details and see like a breakdown, like nightly rate, cleaning fee, host fees, whatever. And now I'm not seeing any of that. All I can see is if I go to after reservation, I can see a payout. So you mentioned the payout earlier. Does that payout includes the cleaning fee, or that's just the nightly rate?
Yep, that'll include the cleaning fee as well. You're saying you're not seeing those in the reservation details?
Yeah,
like
I mean, I use it all the time. I mean, I've been using Hospitable for a number of months, for over 6 months, and I'm accustomed to just going on the computer and clicking on a reservation, hitting details because I don't count my cleaning fees. I just count my nightly rates. That's how I judge my performance for a month. Okay. And now when I hit details, I don't want to do it on my phone right now because I don't want to accidentally close the Zoom screen. So I'm not sure if it's doing it on my phone as well with the app, but definitely on the desktop.
Okay.
I don't see any break. I don't see $1 amount when I click on the details of the booking.
Okay, that's
But if
strange.
if I click on after reservation, I see the lump sum payout number, which is also what I think is what's going to be shown in direct booking.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not clear on why you're not seeing that. You should be seeing, I know, you know, the breakdown on the taxes is there as well. I'm gonna get in contact with Jen after this and probably reach out to you as well through Intercom and give you some feedback on what you should be seeing.
Actually, I can open the app without disconnecting Zoom. This will take me 2 seconds. Let's see if it's doing on the phone app as well, just so I can give you accurate information. So I can go to this new booking here. Well, that's a VRBO. I'm not going to do that one because I know VRBO is, you know.
Andrew, I think we have a slew of customers waiting. Let's respect their time. I'll be able to check out your account in detail after this, and I'll reach out to you and we can investigate what's going on. But yeah, you should be seeing that.
Right,
if
I've
there's an issue,
confirmed
we'll fix
on
it.
my phone. It's not showing the details either on the phone. So
Okay.
I've just done that. So all right, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Bye-bye.
Great. Thank you very much, Andrew. So now I'm going to invite Tommy on stage to ask your question. Tommy?
Thanks for having me up. I just wanted to ask quickly about the ability to add Facebook pixels, if that's in the works.
Yep, that has been highlighted before. You need a tracking pixel. It's in the works. I don't have an ETA for you, but thanks for shouting that again.
Okay, and then the other question is, what about the ability to add additional sections? For instance, like if we want to have a section for to display our guest reviews, things like that.
Yep.
Are you guys considering that?
Yeah, we have a lot of opportunities with the site. The vendor we work with has a lot of functionality that we're not using yet, and we can really start turning over much more of a site builder functionality within Hospitable. At that point, you could go wild with generating more pages within that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it has not been scheduled yet, but there are lots of opportunities there. So as soon as we get the roadmap,
cool.
We'll be spending several sprints on knocking out site service stuff. Probably a good point to just make a comment on resources. We did get a few developers added to the team recently for Direct. So we have a lot of feature requests, obviously. There's really exciting opportunities. And we just had Daniel, who joined the team as a backend engineer on Direct. He has just finished his 2 weeks of onboarding, so he's actually starting to take tickets now for improvements. So that's increasing the team. We have Tom, our backend engineer, that was responsible for a lot of the tax implementation, a lot of the AutoHost guest vetting implementation. He's back from maternity leave, so congratulations, Tom. Welcome back to the team. As of today, he's back and getting back into work. And we've got another person joining the team very soon after they finish their notice to their previous company. That's going to be a senior lead on the tech team for Direct. So lots of new resources coming, and we will be getting to these requests soon. Anything else I can help you with, Tommy? No, he's gone.
He's already jumped away.
Sorry, scare him.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Tommy. So next up on our list is Michael. Michael, do you have a question for us?
Hello, Michael. I think you can unmute yourself.
Yes, hi.
Yes, perfect.
Hi,
Hello,
can you hear
Michael.
me now? Hi,
Yes,
guys.
we can
How are
hear
you?
Good,
Doing a
thanks.
great job. I just wanted to congratulate you guys. First of all, Hospitable is great. When it works, it's great. Sometimes it's not so great.
Ooh,
But I had
kind of a compliment.
No, you got it's a fantastic platform. Sometimes we have some bumps, but it's great. I have 3 questions for you guys. We have some rather large luxury properties where we'll get $90,000, $100,000 bookings. It's going to be a big ask to have people pay 6% on that kind of booking. Is there any kind of pricing structure you're thinking of?
No, I mean, your payment processing fees are eating half of that, right? And then we've got all of the liability that comes with a bigger booking, as far as the reserve that has to be there for that, the potential, refund, cancellation, chargeback, all of that. I don't know, Pierre, did I speak too quickly there?
No, I think that's true. Basically, if you are on direct basic and you have one very like $10,000 reservation that gets canceled, there is basically a payment processing fee that you're still gonna have to pay. In your case, under direct premium, you don't have to, so you can cancel that as a host. You can suffer a cancellation from the guest according to your cancellation policies without having to pay extra out of your pocket. And so it makes there is a scalability to the fee that basically particularly important on those higher end bookings for large amounts of value. They are just as susceptible to a chargeback as many others,
and not even a chargeback.
Yeah,
just a refund.
Just a straight
that's
refund.
several $1,000s in payment processing fees that we would lose. And so that margin that's on that 6% is for when we lose as well. It's just operating a marketplace. We have to cover those bookings that get just refunded, and not even a chargeback.
Understood. So how does that compare? How does Airbnb handle that, for example, right now?
Well,
you're
going to save at least 14% on that booking. Compared a $90,000 booking, at least 14% cheaper than Airbnb, if not more. And I don't think, depending on who cancels, they might take quite a bit back from you. We don't have anything like that happening now, so you are able to always cancel as the host and refund 100% to the guest.
Okay, I guess I have to research that, because I don't recall ever getting any kind of cancellation fees from Airbnb. So
it depends on what conditions you cancel on. And when we talk about the savings, and this is kind of come out, I just saw this in the chat. When I say it's 14% cheaper, we're comparing both the payout and the savings of the booking, right? And so Airbnb is going to take 3% from your payout. We're not doing that. So we're adding that 3% to the savings. And that's how we get to the 14% cheaper. It's for the combined savings to the guest and the host. And again, as we've said before, if you want to play with how that pie gets distributed, you can use our markup rates, negative or positive, to make them even cheaper for the guest or even richer for your payout. But at least 14% on a $90,000 booking, you're going to save.
I see. Well, do you know what they charge on the guest side then? Maybe that's where I'm missing it.
17%, I think, or 15%.
It's up to, it's between 14 and 17% on top of it. So for a $90,000 booking, you are paying several.
No. Hold on. Back up. You're telling me that Airbnb charges a guest 17% for a booking of that size?
Yes.
Nah. Okay. I guess I better go look at some of the.
Check it out. Go and see. They made a bit of an effort into transparency. I think for that size, you probably are closer to the 14%, but count the fact that you are charged yourself on 3%. So if you want to make a fair assessment of basically the price distribution, you have to adjust something like that. We have Calvin in the chat saying, I got a 25K booking. My payout was $21,000. So that basically can give you a difference. I think that's basically, you have a lot of people in the chat right now.
Right. My argument is, and my question isn't regarding our payout. It's just, if they go to Airbnb and try to compare it, are we going to have a comparative booking? You know what I mean? Or are they going to say, well, it's so much cheaper on Airbnb?
No, it's not going to be cheaper at all.
No, that's you have the same nightly rate on Airbnb and on direct. So you would have the same price, maybe with a different markup. That's at your discretion. We're going to collect taxes. Those taxes are of the same amount or same list. Sometimes we collect more taxes, so we'll help you be more compliant. That's what Airbnb is actually doing. We have the same cleaning fees. We have exactly the same. The only thing that's the difference is basically the service fee. What you see as a host is 3%, and basically that covers their payment processing cost. For us, that's 0%. And Airbnb charges on top of that a 14 to 17% guest fee. That is basically that you don't see. It is not included in your subtotal, based on basically a combination of the cleaning fees, the accommodation, so that's your nightly rates, including as well taxes. We are always cheaper, and I really invite you to basically check it out. There was an interesting conversation.
Trust me.
No, you don't have to. This is $10,000 that you're basically losing out. So, if I can make that money for Hospitable, I would be super happy. But that's not the deal that we're offering to you right now. So go check it out. and find
Okay,
basically
great.
the difference in pricing. What you will see is, for example, that Airbnb is trying to appear cheaper by basically excluding taxes, and we are basically with taxes as cheap as basically Airbnb is without them. So I had a few cases like that.
I think
Okay,
the only
perfect. And the second question is, when we do a 31-night booking, you're automatically deducting the transient tax, right?
we're not set up yet for those longer bookings yet. So that's part of that project for us to do the installment payments, tax optimization for all that. So yeah, that's not something we can do today.
So if I do a direct booking, they will get charged an occupancy tax over 30 days.
I need to check how Avalara is doing it. We're using tax calculation, but we're not telling them anything different. I'm gonna find out and get back to you actually on that. I need to
Please, because that's important.
Yeah.
That's one of our keys, that when we have to do mostly long-term bookings here in Los Angeles. So when we do when we get a 30-day inquiry, we go back and say, hi, do 31 nights, and the occupancy
it's
tax
cheaper,
completely falls off. And you know, that's a huge savings on their side, and they love it. And so if you could get back to me, I'd appreciate that. And the last question I have, sir, gentlemen, is there a way to differentiate? We have like 48 properties on your platform. If we want to do some with the premium and some with the basic, is that a possibility, or is it across the board, whatever we choose?
No, it's not a possibility today. It's something we're almost talking about. We have had some feedback. Not today. If we change our minds, we'll let you know. But at the moment, you need to pick one or the other. You can switch, but it's one or the other now for the reasons of complexity. We might end up solving that complexity if there's enough, I think, benefits to that, but not today. Just going back to a couple of things we said, I think there is one area where the direct premium pricing is difficult, and that's under $100 for a booking. So you're not in that bucket. But because our fee has a fixed component, like 6% plus $10, that's the only time you would be concerned about direct premiums cost. Under $100, that $10 actually becomes a decently high percentage. We're kind of thinking about ways we might be able to just kind of fudge that a little bit. Yeah, it's
we don't have that problem in Los Angeles.
It didn't sound like it. No,
not at all. So back to the premium versus the basic. Can we toggle which properties we want on?
Yeah. So you can have one plan at a time, and you can always scope which properties are listed during that time, but you can't have properties that are scoped to basic live at the same time you have properties scoped to premium live. That's what's not supported.
Got it.
But if you do switch to premium and you don't want to have everything on premium, you're just going to take that off of direct. It wouldn't be scoped for direct, right? And for the taxes as well, like you can go look now. Like I'm going to go look as well, but you have your direct site set up. You're able to look at your taxes and see. Note that
Michael,
we have
Andrew. Sorry, we have a riot on the chat. Thank you, Michael, for your questions. Thank you, Andrew, for your answers. Miles, we can move over to the next one, please.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michael.
Appreciate that.
Thank
you, Michael. So Frederick, asking you on stage now. Frederick, would you like to ask your question?
Hello, Frederick, what's your question? Sorry, no longer a question. Frederick, what's your question? We can't hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Frederick, we're struggling with you, so I'm going to just mute you for a second.
Okay, I'm here again.
Hey,
my laptop was closed. On the internal name, so is that what should show up when they go to request to book on the on direct?
No, you should be seeing the public name on your sites.
Okay. So I see the public name, but when I go to check the availability, it still shows the internal name. And then also cancellation policies, I've created them and added them, and it's still showing the default, even though I've assigned it to property. So, but all the things you guys are talking about is awesome. A comparison price tool will be amazing, so that people could see it. Like, hey, here's how much you would have paid on Airbnb, or even if it just showed it, even if that's just some basic math. And then I had a couple questions. Most of them got answered, but really, really excited with all the updates. Thank you so much. Oh, and then I did also have the problem with the details, reservation details not showing the dollar amounts anymore as well. I think Tom or someone had that problem, but I'll let you guys go because I know we're busy.
Thank
Okay.
you. We'll be looking into that. And yeah, the comparison is something we talked about before, especially to make sure and explicit how much is going to be. And after all, guests should be having the freedom of booking where they would like, whether that's your direct booking or another channel. Thank you, Fred.
And yeah, I'll look at your cancellation policies if I can. There was an initial issue with not being able to descope from the default policy to a custom policy. That was fixed like a week ago. But yeah, have a look. You should be able to select custom policies now and have those saved. All right.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and thank you very much, Frederick. So now moving on to Sean. Sean, would you like to ask your question?
Usual. How can we help you today, Sean? You're muted. Can we get you unmuted? Yes, Sean, how can we help you?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Hello.
All right, so two quick things with the promo codes. You said you're kind of in the ears are open mode.
Let me have it.
It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome if you could dynamically create them to where my goal is to basically do first name and the last four of their cell phone. And that way I don't have to go in and like add custom promo codes for everybody. It'd be great if I could just automatically set that rule, $100 off for anyone that has, you know, the code with first name, last four of their cell. Just an idea, but I think that would be great. Just keep it kind of custom and not have it leaked. The other one is, you know, just from a usability feature as like a traveler, it'd be awesome if on that home screen that has all the different listings, if there was a search bar by dates, and you could put in the dates you're available to travel, and then only the properties that are available show up. That way they're not, you know.
Makes perfect sense, Sean.
Yeah, that way they're not going through and like, oh, look at this property, it's beautiful. Oh, we're not going to be able to do that. And then they do that 3 times, and then they're just off the site because that's a bad experience.
Yeah, no, that's been raised several times. It's a complicated thing on our site. I actually had a customer show me basically what the Hospitable multi-calendar looks like. They asked for that as a widget on the site. The risk of Pierre giving me a really angry eyebrow. Would that do anything for you to show the multi-property calendar, just to show availability for all your properties?
Yeah, it'd be a good first step, I think.
I think if you have like a destination, like we have people with like 5 or 6 properties in the same city, and that would allow you to see which of those 5 or 6 when they have availability, if you're opportunistically looking at a week in, you know, Gatlinburg or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Just throwing that around.
Yeah. Also, 2 other random ideas, just a filter where they could select the different cities you have, and then only those listings show up, and then maybe even a map feature where there's just different pins so they can look and click and then see it and then go from there.
Yeah,
those are all excellent ideas, Sean.
Those are all excellent ideas. There is a situation of multi-host with multi-properties and multi-city property management companies. This is something that obviously we've been hearing for a long time. Now with more engineers, we're hoping that we will have the capacity of executing on it. It's not always easy to iterate on the websites, but we definitely are dedicated on making that happen. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. I'm moving. Andrew, Miles, do you still have a bit more time to answer a few more questions? Can we push like 50? You're here all night? Okay, fine. I will sleep on the couch, and my baby will be very upset. But let's make it work. Ali, I think he's the next person. Miles,
correct? Yeah.
Hello, on stage. Ali. How can we help you?
Hi, how are you doing? I have a few properties in Cairo, Egypt, which is like, and they have some properties in Canada as well. So it's completely a different market, and the dynamics are completely different. So the like guests that come and reserve through different platforms, Booking, many people come through Booking, and some people through Airbnb, VRBO, not many, but I have a problem in screenings, I guess, because the problem, like the market's still brand new. People don't know much about ways to rent online. And many of the guests come with the perception that they want to rent the unit for entertainment or like, I don't know, like prostitution, stuff like that. So I'm very skeptical when it comes to screenings, I guess, because all my properties are in a family area. Like I try to make sure that I get the guests that will not put me in any trouble before anything, like before anything. So like using direct, as Manny was mentioning, that it will be useful in some, like for me, I see it in long-term rentals more. But the idea is that, like, what are the tools I am able to use to make this screening in such a new market, and am I allowed like to put like conditions, so they have to sign, like, let's say, yeah, we know that it's not allowed to bring entertainment visitors or like something like that, so they are able to book. So that's a situation that I need to deal with. If you can help me with some ideas.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. So, okay, for the premium, sorry, you said you're in Egypt and where, sorry?
In Canada.
In Canada, okay. So we don't have premium in either of those markets yet. So you could be an AutoHost customer yourself and requiring people to go through AutoHost. That's going to help flag kind of different signals that it might be something that you don't want to host. A lot of that, like you said, is also intuitive. You know, one night booking on a Friday is already going to be setting off some flags for you. You're going to be able to control what content's on your site. So if you want to put some very explicit warnings, it's, you know, you're going to be canceling bookings if, you know, you detect or you don't trust that person. You're in charge with direct. So, you know, you can cancel on guests. But what else? We're looking at doing rental agreements very soon through the AutoHost implementation, though. So that would be initially a premium product. I think we're going to have a wider kind of e-signature, e-documents feature that could be available for basic as well. That would help. You have terms of service. Those definitely, the terms of service, again, it's on premium right now. Definitely explicitly forbid anything illegal, drugs, prostitution, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Pierre, you have any ideas?
But this will not be available in Egypt. Like premium is like, yeah, Egypt's not one of the countries.
Is Stripe available in Egypt? I know they're in only 38 countries, which was kind of a surprise to me.
I don't think so. Like, yeah. Like, I don't think.
Yeah. So that's gonna be tough. I think eventually we get to other payment processing options for Direct Basic to cover more geography. We're not there yet, but PayPal might be an option. I'm not sure what's supported in Egypt. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think this is literally a phase three of the development of Direct, is basically supporting beyond Stripe coverage. At this point in time, we prefer to basically ensure that the experience is going to be amazing for hosts and for guests, basically building a full feature product before we start expanding that onto other geographies. So right now with the US, that's 90% of our customer base covered, expanding to Australia, Canada, and the UK. I think we're touching on 96, 97%. And so that's really where it makes the most sense for us as a path to get direct anywhere else. But thank you, Ali, for reaching that out. I think you can always look into AutoHost, which is an enterprise solution that we integrated with our customers. And so it's fully included with Direct Premium. You can also benefit from the same features if you are using Direct Basic. But you need to have then your own AutoHost account, because you are the owner of everything, including the guest vetting then. Thank you, Ali, for your question. We can have Troy on Q&A questions. After all, I feel like I'm stepping in. Miles,
I know.
Feel free to cut me off and tell me what's better.
Yeah, Troy being on stage now.
Hello, gentlemen. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. So I had a customer book inquired through Airbnb. Airbnb, they offer monthly, where you can set up monthly rates in there now versus 10% or 20% off monthly. When they went to directly my website to book the rate, it was much more. So I was just wondering, is that something that will be happening in the future where we can add the actual monthly rate so it can mirror what Airbnb has?
So what's the gap between a 30-day discount and a monthly rate
With the price difference?
Well, I'm trying to understand what can't you do with a 30-day discount versus what you can do with a monthly rate.
So I said it as let's say example, $3,500 a month. In Hospitable, you put 20%, or you put your percentage off of your rate for the month for if you book 30 days. And so on Airbnb, it's going to automatically pull the $3,500 that I set at the rate. But on Hospitable, it can do that.
Are you using dynamic pricing? So you've got like a bunch of different daily rates then. Yeah. Okay. I understand that now. Yeah, that's new feedback. That's interesting.
Yeah, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that, Troy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Cool. So next person invited on stage is Sam. Sam, hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. We have we use Hospitable to manage a number of properties, and we have a lot of friends who live in the same area that do the same thing, and we all have like maybe 6 to 20 properties. I wonder, is there any way for us to like have a direct site that would span all of our properties so we could like consolidate marketing efforts?
I love it. I don't know how we do it technically, but I love the enthusiasm. I love the idea. Yeah, and nothing out of the box.
Okay.
No, I don't think there's anything, but that's good to
Well,
know.
no, I mean, there's a
aggregation.
hack. Like if you want the hack, yeah, like you guys, you get the domain, right? The domain is a start. You put up a custom site and you have a drop down or a city thing, or I don't know how you would, commingle the listings. They'd be all separate listings at the moment. So you'd have like 5 different Hospitable sites linked to from one master site. That's not great.
Or I mean, I guess we could
trying to find a way.
duplicate the Airbnb listings, but that kind of gets messy.
Yeah, I don't think there's a solution at the moment. I think it's certainly something that Andrew can take away and kind of have a think about a way that we could potentially look at doing that. But yeah, unfortunately, no solution for you today. Sounds
it's a problem for Connect.
Thanks.
Pass it to another team. Connect will solve this.
Thank you very much, Sam, for your question. So inviting Taylor on stage now. Taylor.
Hello, thank you so much for taking my call. That is a beautiful picture of my wife. Sorry about that.
I was not expecting that voice.
So we have our first listing. We're listed on Airbnb and Booking, but we are not live. We have local people that are family and friends that want to book. And I was wondering, is there a way to use Hospitable without using Airbnb or Booking.com? Can we still send out a link for the property using Hospitable?
I believe you would need to at least publish those listings for a moment to allow us to basically generate those properties, and then you could unlist them. So if they're not ready to go live, basically all we need to do is generate the properties, and we do that through the connected accounts, which is Airbnb mainly. So if you're able to do that and just set them live and then unlist them, you'd be good to go with direct. You'd be live.
Okay. And would it be better to list that through premium, or it doesn't matter?
I mean, that the question doesn't impact which plan you choose. It's more a question of what features do you need, what's important to you. That's a general direct question, not to your specific question.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. I've learned so much from the guests, so I appreciate everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Taylor. Thank you. And I shout out, to the other Hospitable customers here too. I'm learning a lot from them. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Taylor. So we just have a few more attendees with the hands raised. Let's try our best to get to all of them. So Stephen, inviting you on stage to ask your question.
Yeah, hey guys, how you doing? Appreciate all the feedback. 2 things. One, I like the idea of calculating the taxes and eventually doing the tax remittance. So first question is that an option to also do that through bookings that come through Airbnb and VRBO and stuff like that, where you can kind of calculate the monthly taxes for us? Is that an option, or just with the direct booking site?
Probably not. It'd be difficult for us to be 100% certain we were getting the right information from the channels, for one, and 2, like that money exists in a different account, right? Like the tax you're collecting through the OTA. In the future, yes, we have this plan where you may have a Hospitable bank account of some kind where they all exist in the same pool, and that might be possible. But in the near future, that's probably not possible for a lot of complexities. Yeah.
Okay, and the second thing I'll just mention is I know a couple of guests have mentioned, I think including one of the last couple of ones, is to have a monthly price would be very helpful. There are some challenges in certain cities booking less than a month, and I'm going to be doing kind of a hybrid model where some months I'm going to be doing bookings for 1 or 2 or 3 days, and some months I'm going to do it for a month at a time. So if I had ability to just give a monthly pricing, that would be helpful.
Cool. Nice to have that backed up. Yeah, I understand that now, thanks to Troy's explanation earlier. So yeah, I'm going to take that to the team.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen. So next up, we have someone from IQI Business Solutions with a question. Hello there.
How's it going, guys? I'm Quinn. Sorry, that's my company's name.
Hi, Quinn.
Great job. So really appreciate you guys. I actually wanted to quickly elaborate on that last comment. And so this one's for Andrew. As it relates to the specific pricing for months, I think the key difference that I wanted to add there is Airbnb allows you to establish a set price for any specific month. So for example, you can set a set price for May, which could be a set price different from December, right? So I think the practical application there is, you may want to charge a premium or even a discount for slower months that may be different than what you would generally give a discount for in all other months, for example. So just wanted to add that I didn't quite grasp that they sent that message. So sure. Beyond that, Sean actually addressed a lot of my concerns and their questions around the direct site with the flexibility around searching across properties. But one that I did want to add is if we'll have the ability to maybe shift the order of the properties on the direct site. I'm sure all of our larger hosts can agree that some properties are better than others, and we would want to prioritize them. And I can even see a possibility where, as it relates to maybe offerings to your clients under the co-host model, you may even charge a premium for being higher on the list on that direct site. So just some practical applications of that, but I'm curious if that's in the pipeline at all.
Are you a businessman, Quinn?
Yeah.
Kidding. I like it. Cool. Thank you for the suggestion. I like it. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much, Quinn. So we've got just 3 more attendees. So Anthony, would you like to ask your question?
Hey guys, do you guys have a target date for Instant Book for Direct Basic?
How would that work? You don't have, do you have AutoHost set up before you've accepted the booking? I have a hard time imagining how it works.
It would, you'd have to obviously have Stripe integrated, but AutoHost, we use Safely for things that, AutoHost might be applicable for. We wouldn't, anyone who books instantly. So I'll tell you this, we're currently using Hostaway kind of as our primary, but I'd really rather move over to you guys 100%. And I'm using both of you right now, and it's kind of a pain, but we came to you because of the lock integration that you have with Steam. And we have smart things all in all of our homes. That being said, we want to roll out Direct right now. I started to implement a widget, and then, I knew that you guys you only have a request to book currently. So if you had Direct Instant Book, it would.
I think we lost you, Anthony.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we've lost Anthony there.
Okay. Yeah, I can take it from there. I think the problem that I'm struggling with is if you don't have any intelligence on that guest, that's just going to potentially end up with a lot of cancellations, which aren't great. You're covering the payment processing fees in those instances. So that's kind of on you. But yeah, we'll continue to think about it. It was easy for us with Premium because of the already integrating the guest vetting, which you would have to do asynchronously with Direct Basic. So I'm not sure, but
I think that for this purpose, I think there can be a path on integrating with Safely for guest verification for their products, and then basically they can also do their magic integration with insurance, which basically is kind of the essence of Direct Basic. Is that for now we have Direct Premium on a consolidated set of vendors that we have great experience working with. We have also a great relationship with Safely, of course.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
can integrate with Hospitable. So the idea is basically bringing those features that exist currently outside of a booking flow into it. So basically, in the same way that we ask for guest verification with AutoHost, you could potentially make that work with Safely for direct basic customers. So I think that's probably what that guest was talking about. Just a suggestion, feel free always to reach out to Andrew at hospitable.com for any kind of question.
That's almost my email address.
It's almost your email address. Yeah, go ahead. Say, I think I have to set up the shortcut. Andrew_SCH ORR at hospitable.com. Now you're actually going to receive the emails. Miles, who's next?
So so I think we've actually only got one person left that's had their hand raised for quite a while, and that's Erin. So Erin, I think you might be our last question.
Okay.
Hi,
Erin.
sorry to be the last one. It's convenient.
It's a great
actually,
one. Make it great.
Right. It's going to be great. So it actually dovetails nicely with the last question. I also use Safely and have for a long time. And my question is with the direct premium, which I'm using right now, I'm wondering what the user experience is like for the guest verification. I say that because I know I've had quite a few guests that get a little bit nervous and concerned about, getting an email and clicking a third-party link and that sort of thing. So is there a walkthrough or something that maybe I've missed that can show me what that looks like for the guest?
I mean, you can try it, right? There's nothing stopping you from just doing it yourself. And we actually, kind of recommend when you get up on premium, go ahead and make a request to book. You don't have to accept it and actually charge your card. So what happens when you make a booking request, right? We're just authorizing your card. So it doesn't get charged. Once you do that authorization, when you submit the booking request, we're going to generate the link for AutoHost, and then you can jump into that flow. That completes your booking request, and at that point, you can reject the request to book. You're not going to get charged, and you see end to end what that flow looks like, and give it a try. We keep iterating on that. We've taken some things out that aren't valuable and are slowing things down. We're giving AutoHost feedback on ways that it can be improved. I think some people do have issues sometimes uploading IDs. We're working on that as well. And that's part of the reason we're bringing on a dedicated support team to get through that. Lots of things coming, and it's too long, but we're going to make that more of like a registration. So once people do AutoHost once, we're not ideally going to make them ever do it again for another reservation. So that's going to be hopefully a smaller ask of the guest as well. It's not that they have to do this every time. There's 50,000 other hospitable properties on direct they can use now because they've done that verification.
Okay, wonderful. And then the SuperHog claim filing, is this one where I know Safely doesn't contact the guest? Is the guest going to be contacted for injuries damages and that sort of thing whenever they occur? I mean, obviously huge damage, but one of the advantages for Safely for me is that I don't have to call them if somebody screwed up the sheets and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, so this does work where the guest is assuming up to US $500 worth of liability. They agree to those terms when they go through the AutoHost flow. So they accept the SuperHog terms. They will get in touch with them for up to $500, and then the rest of that is liability insurance.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you guys for all you're doing. I'm absolutely loving the product.
Yep, thanks for your feedback, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna have to call it time. We keep getting additional hand raises, but there's only
I put my email address up there.
Yeah.
I think you can continue there. So it's going to be hard to summarize on everything. If I have room to summarize, Andrew is amazing. That's one other thing that I'm always impressed about. And the direct team that keeps on growing with 2 more additions today alone on focusing on the direct support, but also on the engineering side, to make it even better going forward. We have been releasing everything. So from cancellations, policies, more features like instant book, so you can accept automatically bookings from guests who have been vetted, who are safe and verified. You can, we like to. I mean, we had so many questions. I think this is fantastic. I think we're going to look at the recording for this. We obviously are there to keep on building a better product, and so thank you so much for everything. Miles, when will the recording be made available? I think we're looking at tomorrow.
I think so, because it's been so bumper. It might take a little while to upload. So tomorrow we will upload this to our YouTube channel. So that'll be available for everyone to watch.
And I think you may be able to see it on Facebook.
Take my email address off my profile now.
Nice. And yeah, you can immediately head over to our Facebook profile where it's been live streamed. So the recording is already there as well if you want to check that out too.
I think we're doing another one of these too in APAC hours in a month.
Yeah.
Correct. We're doing that July 4th for me, 3 a.m. Eastern time, Toronto time. I don't know how that translates to Europe and APAC.
Sure, it's right.
Early in the morning.
Early in the morning. So if we didn't get your question answered here and you're in the appropriate time zone, you can probably join us on that session as well.
And you can always join us on the next town hall next week, where we'll always be talking about Direct and the rest of developments from our product. Thank you so much for these fantastic moments. Have a fantastic rest of your evening from Brussels, Florence, and a good afternoon from Toronto. And many other cities in the world. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.